The Galactic Senate was the most powerful place in the known galaxy. It floated in deep space, surrounded by stars and silence. From the outside, it looked calm. Inside, it was never quiet. The hall was massive. Tall pillars of crystal light reached the ceiling. Holographic banners showed the symbols of 100 alien races. Each race believed it was important. Some believed they were superior. The seats were arranged in wide circles. At the center was the speaker's platform. That was where power spoke. On this day, the hall was full. Alien senators talked loudly. Some argued. Some laughed. Some watched others with cold eyes. At the far edge of the chamber stood the human delegation. They had the smallest section. No banners. No glowing lights. Just 5 humans standing still. They wore simple dark uniforms. No weapons were visible. No signs of rank or pride. They looked calm. Too calm. A tall reptilian senator leaned forward in his seat. His scales shimmered as he spoke. "Why are humans even here?" he asked loudly. Laughter followed. It echoed across the hall. Another senator, this one covered in soft silver fur, joined in. "They are new, weak, still fighting wars among themselves." More laughter. The humans did not react. They did not look angry. They did not whisper. They did not defend themselves. They simply stood there. The Speaker of the Senate raised a glowing staff. The noise slowly faded. "The human delegation may speak," the speaker said. For a moment, the hall was quiet. The human leader stepped forward. He was not tall compared to most aliens. He had no horns, no claws, no shining armor. Just 2 eyes that calmly scanned the room. Before he could speak, another voice interrupted. "Let them speak quickly," a massive stone-skinned senator said. "We have real matters to discuss." Laughter returned. The human leader paused. He looked back at his people. They nodded once. He turned back to the Senate. "We came to request," he began. A sharp buzzing sound cut him off. A voting signal flashed in the air. The speaker looked at the display. "The motion to limit human speaking time is passed," the speaker said coldly. "You may submit a written request later." The hall exploded with laughter. Some senators clapped. Some mocked openly. "Written requests," one voice said. "How fitting." The humans said nothing. The leader slowly stepped back. Silence followed them like a shadow. An ancient alien race, hidden behind layers of machines, watched closely. They did not laugh. They remembered things others had forgotten. They noticed something strange. The humans were not embarrassed. They were not afraid. They looked. Decided. The human leader turned his body slightly. Not toward the speaker. Not toward the Senate. Toward the exit. One by one, the human delegation followed him. Footsteps echoed softly on the polished floor. Some senators noticed. "Where are they going?" someone asked. The speaker frowned. "Humans," he said. "This session is not over." The human leader stopped. He did not turn around. He spoke calmly. "It is for us." Then he walked on. The doors opened. Light swallowed the humans as they left the hall. The doors closed. Silence fell. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Senate felt unsure. And somewhere deep in space, something had just changed. The doors of the Galactic Senate closed behind the humans. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the laughter returned. It started small. A low sound. Then it grew louder. "They walked away," a winged senator said. "Did they think this was a victory?" Another voice joined in. "Humans are emotional. They always run when they lose." More laughter filled the hall. The Speaker of the Senate tapped his staff on the platform. "Order," he said, though his tone carried no concern. To most of the senators, the moment was already over. Humans were gone. The problem had removed itself, but not everyone felt satisfied. At the back of the chamber, the ancient observers remained silent. Their mechanical eyes followed the empty doorway where the humans had disappeared. They remembered other times, other species, other mistakes. A massive insect-like senator leaned forward. "Without humans, trade lanes will be simpler," he said. "They offered nothing of value." A crystalline senator agreed. "They asked for protection rights. Absurd. They cannot even defend their own borders." Pride filled the room. Each senator spoke as if the matter was settled. They compared fleets. They boasted about weapons. They praised their own power. No one noticed the data streams changing. Deep within the Senate systems, alerts began to form. Far from the chamber, human fleets moved, not in panic, not in anger. With purpose. Human ships powered down their external signals. They did not announce departures. They did not threaten. They simply left shared space. Trade gates, once open to all, now denied access to Senate traffic. Supply routes slowed, then stopped. A small merchant race was the first to notice. Their ships waited at a trade node. Humans did not arrive. Minutes passed. Then hours. Soon, reports reached the Senate floor. A nervous aide approached the speaker. "Several outer trade lanes are offline," the aide said. "Human-operated systems are unresponsive." The speaker frowned. "Temporary issues," a senator said quickly. "Humans lack discipline." More laughter followed, but it sounded weaker this time. Another report arrived. Joint defense stations along the border went dark. Human crews had withdrawn. No explosions, no sabotage. They had taken everything with them. The ancient observers exchanged silent signals. "This is not retreat." One transmitted, "This is separation." Back in the hall, pride began to crack. A senator stood up. "Why would humans shut down shared systems?" he demanded. "They are bluffing," another replied. "They want attention." But the silence outside the Senate grew heavier. Human embassies across the galaxy closed their doors. Flags were lowered. Communication channels returned automated replies. Short, polite, final. One message repeated across all systems: "Humanity has chosen non-participation." The words spread fear faster than any weapon. A young senator asked quietly, "What does that mean?" No one answered. The speaker finally rose from his seat. "Summon the humans," he ordered. "Call them back to the table." The aide hesitated. "They are not responding." For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Senate faced something it did not understand. Not war, not rebellion. Rejection. And far beyond the Senate walls. The humans watched in silence. They had not walked away in weakness. They had walked away because they were done asking. Across the galaxy, silence began to spread. At first, it was easy to ignore. No explosions, no threats, no warnings. Just quiet. Human space went dark to outsiders. Navigation beacons stopped replying. Trade stations no longer answered calls. Inside the Galactic Senate, confusion grew. Large screens showed delayed reports. Supply lines slowed. Border systems showed empty space where human ships once patrolled. A senator slammed his claw on the desk. "This is childish," he said. "They want us to notice them." But deep inside the human territories, something else was happening. Human fleets gathered in calm order. No rush, no chaos. Every ship followed the same pattern. Systems checked. Coordinates confirmed. Orders acknowledged with one simple word: ready. There were no speeches, no dramatic messages, only a single signal, shared across all human systems. It was old. Very old. A protocol, written before humans ever left their home planet. Its name was simple: the Quiet Line. When the Quiet Line was active, humanity spoke with action, not words. Back in the Senate, the ancient observers finally spoke. Their voice came through the chamber, low and slow. "We have seen this before," they said. The hall grew quiet. "A species that stops explaining has already decided." Some senators laughed nervously. "Humans are weak," one replied. They have no ancient weapons, no god fleets. The observer responded calmly. They have patience. More reports arrived. Human research teams left shared stations. Human engineers disconnected key systems, carefully, cleanly. Nothing was broken, but nothing worked the same anymore. The Senate's advanced defense network showed gaps, not failures, absences. Humans had been holding the system together. A young analyst whispered. They were the connectors. The speaker tightened his grip on the staff. Open a priority channel, he ordered. All frequencies. The channel opened. Nothing answered. Then one signal appeared, not a message, not a threat, a marker. Coordinates. Every major power received the same thing. A single location, far from trade routes, far from borders. Empty space. What does this mean? A senator asked. The ancient observer replied. It is an invitation. An invitation to what? Another demanded. To listen, the observer said. Meanwhile, at the edge of human space, a small alien scout drifted too close. The human patrol ship did not attack. It did not warn. It changed direction, and the scout system suddenly showed a new boundary. Clear, unbreakable. The scout turned back. Word spread. Quickly, humans were not expanding. They were drawing lines. Back in the Senate, panic replaced pride. Emergency sessions were called. Voices overlapped. Accusations filled the hall. They planned this. They used us. They are hiding something. But one truth became clear. The humans had sent no demands. No ultimatums. No speeches. Only silence and structure. The speaker looked at the play. Empty human seats. They left without a word, he said. Quietly. The ancient observer answered. No, they spoke very clearly. Far away. Human leaders watched the galaxy react. No smiles. No anger. Just focus. The quiet line remained active. Humanity was done explaining itself, and the galaxy was finally starting to understand. The galaxy waited. Not for war, not for peace talks, for a reaction. But humanity gave none. Human space remained quiet. No broadcasts, no threats, no speeches filled with pride. The Galactic Senate watched empty screens and felt uneasy. Trade routes once protected by human patrols were now open and cold. No attacks followed, but no help came either. The silence was deliberate. In the Senate chamber, voices rose again. They are testing us, a horned senator said. They want us to chase them. They are bluffing, another replied. A weak species hiding behind silence. The ancient observers did not agree. They had reviewed old records. They had seen the pattern. Species that shouted wanted attention. Species that went quiet had already chosen a path. The Speaker of the Senate stood slowly. Humans cannot simply leave, he said. They are part of our systems. The observer answered calmly. They were. By choice. Across human-controlled sectors, a slow change continued. Joint military stations were fully evacuated. Human personnel left behind clean stations, powered down and intact. Nothing was destroyed, but nothing could function without them. Human logistics teams had been the backbone. Human engineers had connected alien technology in ways others never learned. Now, those connections were gone, not broken. Removed. A mining world near the border sent a distress call. Pirate ships were approaching. The call went to the Senate. Then it was forwarded to human space. An automated reply returned. Humanity no longer provides external security support. No emotion. No explanation. Just fact. Panic spread faster than fear. Smaller races began to realize the truth. Humans had never ruled by force. They ruled by presence. By being everywhere, helping everyone, fixing what others ignored. Now they were nowhere. In the Senate hall, accusations flew. They used us. They planned this withdrawal. They are punishing us. The speaker raised his staff. Order. The ancient observer spoke again. They are not punishing, it said. They are refusing. That word hit harder than any threat. Refusal meant independence. Refusal meant choice. Humans had not lost the Senate's approval. They had decided they did not need it. Meanwhile, human fleets repositioned, not toward alien space, inward, defensive lines tightened around human worlds. Sensors improved. Energy shields strengthened, no weapons were aimed outward, but every approach was covered. Senate intelligence ship crossed into a human buffer zone. The human response came instantly. Comm signal appeared on the ship's screen. You are entering a non-participation zone. Please adjust course. The ship hesitated, then turned away. The message spread across the galaxy. Humans were not leaving space. They were redefining it. Back in the Senate. The speaker's voice shook slightly. We must speak to them, he said. We must bring them back. A young aide replied softly. They have walked away. The ancient observer added one final line. When humans walk away, it said, they do not come back the same. Silence filled the chamber. The laughter was gone. And for the first time, the Galactic Senate understood. Humanity had not lost power. Humanity had stepped beyond their reach. The galaxy did not panic at first. It hesitated. Merchants waited for routes to reopen. Commanders expected humans to return after a show of pride. Diplomats prepared empty speeches. But the days passed. Nothing changed. Human space stayed closed. Human fleets stayed silent. Human systems followed strict, calm order. Slowly, the effects became impossible to ignore. A trade world near the central lanes missed its first supply window in decades. Food shipments arrived late. Energy prices rose. The Senate blamed pirates. Then pirates stopped attacking. Without human patrols forcing order, pirates avoided key regions. They feared unseen lines. They feared human response. Even in silence, a defense council reported new data. Human withdrawal had created stability. Inside their borders and uncertainty everywhere else. Smaller. Species began to worry. They had relied on humans more than they realized. Human medics had treated alien crews. Human engineers had repaired failing systems. Human diplomats had settled disputes before they turned violent. Now, those humans were gone, not dead, gone by choice. An alliance. World sent a private message. It did not go to the Senate. It went directly to human space. The reply came within seconds. Polite, short. Humanity wishes you peace. We will not interfere. The message felt cold. Back in the Galactic Senate, emergency sessions ran without pause. Holograms flickered. Voices overlapped. They are destabilizing the galaxy. They are forcing dependence. They are hiding weapons. The ancient observers watched quietly. They are doing nothing, one finally said. And that is the problem. Reports grew darker. A border defense grid failed because human algorithms were missing. No attack followed, but repairs took weeks. An alien commander slammed his desk. They built the systems so only they understood them. The observer replied, they built them so everyone could learn. No one bothered. Fear replaced anger. The Senate tried to project strength. They announced new patrols. They promised protection, but the fleets were slow. Coordination was poor. Humans had made it look easy. Now the galaxy saw the cost. In human space, leaders watched the reports in silence. They did not celebrate. They did not gloat. They reviewed data. Human worlds were calm. Trade rerouted inward. Production increased. Isolation was not weakness. It was control. A message reached every major power. Not from the Senate. From a neutral relay. It was a human broadcast. No images. No faces. Only words. We did not leave in anger. We left because trust was broken. We will not return to places where respect does not exist. The message ended. No debate followed. The galaxy finally understood that this was not a hellid threat. It was a boundary, a line drawn without force. Some species panicked, some tried to adapt, some realized too late. Back in the Senate, the speaker sat in silence. Call another vote, someone suggested. Condemn humanity. The ancient observer shook its metal head. You cannot condemn what no longer seeks your approval. Outside the chamber, stars burned quietly. Humanity did not need the Senate. And now the Senate needed humanity. The balance had shifted, not with war. But with walking away. The laughter never returned to the Galactic Senate. The chamber still looked the same. The lights still glowed. The banner still floated. But something was missing. Confidence. Senators spoke carefully now. They checked reports twice. They no longer joked about humans. Fear had replaced pride. Emergency alerts filled the central display. Not attacks, warnings. Trade delays, defense gaps, political fractures. Each problem had one thing in common. Humans were no longer there to fix it. Senior military advisor addressed the Senate. Our fleets are stretched thin, she said. We depended on human coordination more than expected. A senator snapped back. Expected by whom? Silence answered. The ancient observers activated a long-sealed archive. Old records appeared in the air. They showed patterns. Civilizations that laughed at silence. Civilizations that ignored calm warnings. None of them survived in the same form. This is not human aggression, the observer said. This is human restraint. The word confused many. How is restraint dangerous? A senator asked. The observer replied, because it means they are no longer reacting. They are choosing. Outside the Senate, the galaxy struggled. A border alliance collapsed after a dispute turned violent. Human mediators were requested. No answer came. A medical station overflowed with injured crews. Human doctors were missed. A trade hub shut down completely, for the first time. Humans were not blamed, they were feared, because nothing stopped the damage now. Back in human space, preparation continued. Human leaders stood in a quiet command room. No cheers, no anger. Only resolve. Defense networks reached full strength. AI systems adapted to isolation. Supply chains closed cleanly. Humanity had prepared for this moment long before the Senate insulted them. This was not a reaction. It was a plan. A lone alien envoy attempted a direct approach. His ship crossed into the human buffer zone. Human vessels appeared instantly. Not aggressive. Precise. A calm voice spoke. You are not authorized to proceed. The envoy tried to speak before he could finish. The same voice continued. This is not a negotiation zone. The ship turned away. The envoy returned to the Senate shaken. They are not angry, he said. That scares me. The Speaker of the Senate finally spoke again. We underestimated them. He admitted. The words tasted bitter. They did not threaten us, he continued. They did not fight us. The observer completed the thought. They outgrew you. Silence filled the hall. Records from ancient wars appeared. Again, every major galactic shift began the same. Wait. A power stopped asking permission. The Senate voted to send an apology. Not a demand. Not a warning. An apology. Message was prepared carefully. Respectful words. Humbled tone. It was sent. Minutes passed. Then hours. A reply arrived. Simple. Clear. We acknowledge your message. Humanity will consider future contact. That was all. No timeline. No promise. Fear settled deep into the Senate, because humanity had not closed the door forever. They had left it slightly open, on their terms. And for the first time in galactic history, the most powerful Senate in the stars waited for humans. The Galactic Senate waited. It had never waited for anyone before. The great chamber was full, yet silent. No arguments. No laughter. Only soft lights and nervous movement. Days had passed since the apology was sent. Then, a signal appeared. Not a ship. Not a fleet. A message. It did not come from the Senate's network. It arrived on every public channel at once. Human origin. The speaker stood slowly. All eyes turned to the central display. The message began without ceremony. We have received your words. No threats followed. No anger. Just truth. The human voice was calm, steady, and clear. For many cycles, humanity stood beside the galaxy. We protected shared lanes. We healed shared wounds. We built systems others depended on. Images appeared. Human engineers working beside alien crews. Human medics treating wounded strangers. Human ships holding lines they did not own. We did this because we believed respect would grow, the voice continued. It did not. The hall remained silent. When we were mocked, we did not answer. When we were dismissed, we did not shout. We chose to walk away. A pause followed, not dramatic. Intentional. Walking away was not weakness, the voice said. It was choice. The ancient observers leaned forward. We do not seek rule, the message continued. We do not seek approval. We seek balance. New images appeared. Human space, calm, organized, secure. We will return to the wider galaxy, the voice said, but not as servants. Not as tools. Not as a joke. The speaker swallowed hard. Any future contact will be based on equal respect, the voice finished. Until then, humanity stands alone. The message ended. No dramatic fade. No signature. Silence followed. Then something rare happened. A senator stood. Not in anger. In humility. We were wrong, he said. Others followed. Not cheers. Not applause. Acknowledgement. The ancient observer spoke one final time. This is how empires end, it said quietly. Not by fire, but by losing those who held them together. In the days that followed, the galaxy changed. New alliances formed carefully. Trade adapted. Power shifted. Humanity did not rush back, they watched. They waited. And when they finally returned to shared space, it was different. Human ships moved with quiet confidence. Human diplomats spoke briefly. Human borders remained firm. No one laughed, because now the galaxy understood. Humans did not need to shout to be strong. They did not need war to be feared. They needed only one thing, the courage to walk away. And in that moment, the galaxy learned the final lesson. Humanity did not rise by conquest. Humanity rose by knowing its worth.